That's right, more extravagant than the Michael B. Jordan Valentine's Day extravaganza. I see you. That's right, go back to them black queens. It's Disqualified Opinions, and we are back after a quick hiatus, bringing you that heat, and it's your favorite segment time, the enTRAPreneur segment, where we bring in forefront the black business owners and those people that's just doing great things in the community. And we got a very, very special guest today, but before we get to him, gang's all here. What's good, brothers?
Yeah. Fellas, how y'all feeling, man?
On?
Feel like it's been a while.
Yeah, something like that.
It's been a little something.
I see you all the time, nigga, but it's been a while for you.
Shout out to the card games out there.
So if anybody trying to get their ass whooped in spades, hit us up.
Well, we got a very, very special guest. I do know this man personally. Graduated from the best high school in all the universe, which we all can relate to up here, the Baltimore Polytechnic Institute.
Yes, sir.
This man needs no introduction, but I'm going to let him do his thing. Flex on, brother. Let the people know who you are.
I ain't gonna flex too much, but I'm Brandon. I own a Block Boy Apparel.
Hey, we got you in here. We're going to ask you some questions. We're going to let you do your thing, rep your brand. I'll ask you first. How did you come up with Block Boy? How did it get started? I know you for a while. I know you're doing a lot of big things. How did you get into the clothing aspect and wanting to own your own business?
So it really started a group of friends in the neighborhood. It wasn't even supposed to be like a citywide brand or even expand outside the city to different states and all that. It was supposed to just be, us wearing stuff. We can't, it really started with a problem, right? So we couldn't match tennis shoes. We got tennis shoes. We can't find something to match it. We're like, are we going to make our own T-shirts? Right? Honestly, the name was like a group idea, I want to say. It was thought of originally by one of my close friends. And I just kind of made some revisions to the original logo, and I just kind of kept it pushing from there. I lost a couple of friends along the way, you know what I'm saying? But that's the reason that I decided to keep it pushing.
All right, so what do you think has been the most challenging thing about starting your own business, and what do you think has been the most rewarding thing about
Honestly, the most challenging part about
being in the fashion industry, it's like finding the whole manufacturing pipeline. A lot of people don't understand how clothes are manufactured. Like, where did that shirt start? How was it made? Or where was that jacket made? What is it made of? Where did the idea even start? Right? And just understanding that process, I think, is probably the most difficult part of clothing manufacturing and fashion design. Right? Because if you're missing any of those particular elements, you won't be able to produce a finished result. Right? If you don't have a technical designer, if you don't develop a tech pack, right? If you can't even, draw out, even with crayons, right? You can take a crayon and draw like a rough idea of a piece of clothing that you might want. And if you can't do that and pass that along to a technical designer to improve upon that and to make your tech pack that you then, send out to like manufacturers, then you dead in the water. And the hard part is people not openly sharing this kind of information. People that's already in the industry, you can't walk into a Nike store and say, how did this get made, right? You just have the end result. You don't know the tech pack. You don't know how the fabric was made and all of the intricate details that went into the back end of the creation of whatever that is. And a lot of people, again, like I said, they don't share that knowledge, right? Even I'm not gonna point nobody out, but just know that it's a lot of brands. You feel me? In the city, it's a lot of brands outside of the city where owners might not necessarily share. They kind of keep that information close to their chest, right? Because competition, or they feel like, I had to work hard to get this information to, understand how the process works. So everybody else should have to work hard or, kind of get it out the mud to understand, how to produce stuff.
Right.
So let me ask you. Go ahead. Do your thing.
I got a good question.
I just got a statement. I don't have a question.
So, as you as the years went along, did you take any classes, or you just learn all this on the fly, kind of like you said, by yourself? It's hard to get information. So I want to know, did you pick up little niblets here and there, just paying attention to certain people?
Everything off the muscle. Even to this day, I have a store now. You feel me? I have a store you can walk into, put a lot of money into it, and I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I don't have a fashion design background. I don't have, I didn't go to school for clothing design or anything like that. So for me, I'm still learning every day. I understand the process now. And once you understand the process, it's I can produce anything, but it's so many different aspects that go into producing the clothes, right? You want to follow the season, right? So right now, even though we're in winter, you want to be designing for the spring. You want to start designing for the summer, right? And when you're in the spring and the summer, you want to start thinking ahead and designing for the fall and the winter. And you want to follow trends too. So you got to know what type of people, A, who you targeting, right? And B, what do these people wear that you're targeting?
Yeah.
Right? And what kind of people can influence them, So let's say you coming up with a design that a lot of people haven't seen before, right? What people can I target that other people will follow, right? What kind of influencer or person in power I can, kind of send my clothes to, have them wear it. Other people can be like, oh yeah, that's kind. They got a big enough platform that A, people can see it, and B, people will want to wear it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a lot of different things that kind of go into that. So yeah, I'm definitely still learning. Definitely.
That's what's up.
Would you consider going to, like you said, like a art design type school, or learning how to actually build like different fabrics and things like that? Would you consider, or you already feel like now it's just you passed that, so you just gotta go with what you got?
I wouldn't go back to school. Right. I feel like there's enough information out there to be able to be successful. I mean, I got this far without going to school. I mean, we got sales probably in like 40 out of 50 states, right? I'm probably hit 40 out of the 50 states, United States. I had international sales and everything. So I got that far without going to school. I don't have that that technical background, technical design background, or clothing design background, but I still made it happen. So if I feel how I think is if I got to this point without school, if I dedicate my time, looking around YouTube University, I can probably, figure out the rest without going to school as well.
Absolutely.
Two things. One, something that you said that I want to touch on. I think that's one of the biggest problems in the black community. Just us in general.
Information.
Yeah, we don't want to see each other grow as much as we like. Everybody can eat, and that was one of the reasons why we kind of started this. I know I say this pretty much on every episode, but
it's true though.
We wanted to give people the ability to see other people and what their success is and what they went through to get to where they are. That way, any bit of tidbits that you can receive from somebody else can help you grow. And not everybody is an entrepreneur. Like, everybody can understand that and know that it's not really built for everybody, just like school not built for everybody. Some people going to have a 9 to 5 for the rest of their life, and that's just them. But, like, for the people that really kind of wish-washy or don't know how to do it, that's facts.
You feel me? Everybody can't be a
You kind of got to see where it starts. But I know you also touched on it. Do you think what you went to school for, because I know you said it kind of started out as just something like on the block.
Yeah, it was a neighborhood thing. Only people, if you see anybody wearing anything Block Boy, you knew they was from where I'm from.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, you're from down there, or you'll live down there, or he know them, he must be associated with them people somehow. But then it just kind of expanded.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the aspects of what you learned in school did help you, though? Because I know you said you're not fashion or anything like that. I know you personally, so I know you went to school for computer science.
Right.
Do you think that has helped you with just accelerating your growth and you reaching where you are currently?
It probably helped being like a critical thinker. Kind of thinking through the process, understanding the process, but not necessarily, that's apples to oranges. Yeah, that's apples to oranges. I mean, computer science.
Did you make your own website?
Yeah. I use an e-commerce platform, so it's like a cheat code to building your own website. You know what I mean? I can't take full credit for it. Technically, I did build a website, but on the same token, I didn't build it from scratch. I'm not like using.
Like you programmed it the whole
right.
way.
Right.
You ain't need to do all that anyway. For real.
Yeah.
But a big thing, because I know he said it. What is the biggest roadblock that you think you faced outside of like manufacturing, whether it be people, just whether it be from the aspect of getting people to buy, getting people to know like what the brand is and what it stands for. Like, what do you think was the biggest roadblock that you faced up until this point?
Honestly, manufacturing was the biggest roadblock because I don't want to say I'm lucky, but when I first started the brand, it like caught fire like immediately. So within the first year of starting the brand, I done probably sold like 10,000 t-shirts to people in the city. Feel me? Just by putting it in the hands of the right people, talking to all the rappers, the local influencers, anybody that got like a name in the city, reaching out to DJs, dancers, rappers, anybody that has a strong following and people kind of, oh yeah, I like what he doing. You feel me? I like what he got on. I'm feeling that. So now that's something that I want to emulate, right? So I reached out to a lot of people, right, and they was receptive to me because a lot of them either came from a neighborhood similar to the neighborhood I came from. Or B, they just wanted to support, right? So I started off like hot. You feel me? I started off real hot, so I didn't really have a problem with people buying it and people not wearing it. I would say the biggest problem when I first started was getting it in their hands physically though, right? So I'm working out the trunk, so I got to drive north, south, east, west. So I'm up Emerson, Poplar Grove. I'm down south. I'm down north. I'm in the county. you feel me?
Delivering person.
I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere, hand in hand. Like I see you, you see me. We right here with it. And I'm doing this all night, driving around 6 hours a night here, there. And I thought about it. I'm like, this really not. I consider myself a cool person. I don't even got no problems with nobody. If I don't know you, you don't know me. It ain't no smoke. You feel me? And I don't do nothing to nobody to the way as though I feel like somebody want to do something to me. So I ain't had no issue with driving around here and there. But I thought about it. I'm like,
it's just not smart, especially if you get big enough to a point where people look at you as a target.
Exactly right. You don't want to put a bullseye on your back. You don't want people to eventually, like you said, you can get to a point where people like, man, I'm gonna knock you off. You feel me? Or
especially if they know you delivering it personally.
Right, you might have more in the trunk to see what you got in there.
Right, or they probably like, oh yeah, he done. I saw he was posting on Instagram. He doing deliveries. He done probably, it's 8 o'clock at night. He done probably delivered like 10, 15 people. He got some bread on him. He got some cash. I'm gonna rob him. You feel me? And I was thinking about that, and I'm like, no, I gotta think of another way. So I didn't stop doing that, but I just scaled it back. It's like I'm not gonna be out as much. You see what I'm saying? Like I understand. I love my city. You feel what I'm saying? But we from where we from. You feel me? We from where we from. You feel me? It's no getting around that. You feel me? You can be the best guy in the world and still wrong place, wrong time, bad situation, caught slipping. You feel me? You don't know. So me just being myself, thinking ahead, I'm like, that's not best for me. So I did have a roadblock, kind of like getting it into people's hands. But outside of that, I would say manufacturing was probably the toughest part, because after a while I eventually opened up a kiosk at Mondawmin Mall. I had a kiosk at Mondawmin Mall. Had somebody working for me. That's another issue too, like hiring employees, and
that trust factor, that being
right
exposed to,
making sure nobody stealing from you.
Right,
that's a lot.
There's a lot people stealing. I can tell you stories, and then there's a lot of fine print. Like if you ever open up a store in the mall, and it's tidbit for y'all, if y'all got any ideas, well, it don't have to be a business related to mine, but any business, right, that you decide to open up in the mall, it's some rules that you kind of gotta adhere to, right, that not a lot of people know about. The reason why you see anytime you go in the mall, you see every store is open is because that's pushed by penalty, right? So if you don't open by a particular time, you get fined, right? If the mall opens at 10 o'clock in the morning, you open at 10:05, you getting a fine. If the mall closes at 9 and you close your doors at 8:50, you getting a fine. You see what I'm saying? And the problem is, if you got an employee, right? If I'm not there to physically open my store myself, and my employees say, yeah, I want them to be there. The mall open at 10. I want them there at 9:45, and they say, yeah, I'm here. You feel what I'm saying? They late. Oh, they crashed their car, or they child sick, or some crazy freak accident happened. Now they don't get there until 10:30, or they call out. Right? That don't stop the fine from coming. You done already signed a contract. You done signed a lease with a mall. A leasing agency. You can't stop that. Them fines not gonna stop. And the hard part is, if you employ somebody, right, and you're not able to physically get to that location, right? Let's say I have somebody working for me at a store in the mall, right, but I can't physically be there, right? If they decide that they don't want to come in, what recourse do I have? You feel me? Now I'm calling around friends, family. Who can I get to go to the store, right, while I'm not there? And if I can't, then every minute is pretty much like $1 a minute. See what I'm saying? So let's say you close for a whole day. You see what I'm saying? 10 hours. Let's say you close for 10 hours, right? 10 hours is what? 600 hours, right? $600. $600 in a single day. See what I'm saying? Just because.
And you ain't make no money that day because you was closed that whole time.
You lost money. You lost $600 directly from the fine. You made no money from sales, right? And then you got to think of all the indirect costs, right? So I paid workers' comp insurance, right? I paid my business insurance. Everything on a small level, you paying all of this, right? So you taking a loss. So there's a lot of stuff that kind of go into it. So I mean, there's a lot of barriers that you got kind of get over. But
what would you say was the most rewarding part of the whole journey?
Man,
let me piggyback on that too. And when would you say like you started to notice it? Like when did you feel like all right, this is
the moment. Yeah. One moment I started doing consignment with a dude up security. I put my stuff in there, it sell, he take his percentage, whatever his percentage was, and I come up there, I retrieve the rest of it, right? So I remember one day, he calling my phone, people keep asking for the brand, I'm like, all right, cool, don't worry about it. I go up there, it's like a Friday or a Thursday, drop off like 200 t-shirts. I'm like, all right, that should hold you should be good. So we good for the weekend, right? I come back on Monday, it's like 40 shirts left. You feel me? I'm like, hold up. I'm like, what you got him in the back? Like, what you hiding him in the back or something? What they under the table? Like, he like, no, they sold. I'm like, hold up, you sold 150 t-shirts like this weekend? I started doing the math. 150 times this, take your part. I'm like, damn, but you owe me a couple thousand. Like, you feel me? It's like, oh, you feel me? That's when I really started taking it serious though, and I understood like, yeah, there's some money in it. You feel me? It's some money in it. And obviously, I'm doing something right. I'm marketing it right. People, I guess, like the product or whatever. And yeah.
And what do you want to see the brand go to? Because some people, when it comes to like fashion and things like that, I think some people are kind of complacent in certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you want to see yourself in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years when it comes to Block Boy?
Supreme. I'm trying to be like, Supreme is like the elite streetwear brand, right? Anytime
I got it on right now.
the headband, you see the Supreme headband.
Yeah,
Anytime
right
you think of streetwear, you think of
They
Supreme.
take all my money.
They just got bought by it's gonna mess with me.
That's one of the end goals.
I think it was
It's one of those two. Either to be bought out, right, or to grow so big that you making
a household name,
right? You're a household name, and you set.
I want to say it's the company that make Vans and Timbs and all of that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the company that make North Face and everything. They make Dickies, North Face. They own Supreme now. They make Vans, Timberlands. They brought out Supreme. VF Corporation. No shout outs. We not paying y'all. But yeah, they just got bought out. I think it's like $2.1 billion, if I'm not mistaken.
That's crazy.
I got one offer for somebody to buy Block Boy from this
Yeah, $2.1 billion.
from a group in UK, but the price was so disrespectful. It's like,
Yeah, no.
I'm not even ready to respond to the email at this point. Like, you beyond disrespectful. Like,
I feel like part of that is like, unless you know it's enough money where your kids never have to work, keep it, because it's gonna be worth more. It's gonna grow in value as long as you keep it.
As long as you put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
So you said Supreme. So Supreme over the years has become more of like an exclusive thing. So are you going to look into like doing like surprise drops, things like
limited
that?
releases,
Yeah,
stuff like that. I mean, technically, it's kind of funny, but everything you design is automatically kind of like a limited release,
Once
right?
it's gone, you're not making another one.
Right. I mean, you could, but so a lot of the times it'll fall out of season. Like I dropped some sweatsuits, right? As soon as the fall hit, I dropped some sweatsuits. Not a lot of people know this, but I'm not ordering no more of those sweatsuits, right? Like as soon as, because I told y'all this earlier.
Change, you're not about to...
I'm moving into development.
There's no reason to moving backwards.
I'm moving in development spring and summer, and next year I might make some adjustments to it. So I might do like a 2.0 to that same sweatsuit, right? So people don't know that it's a limited drop, but I think over time as I build more and more history like with the customers, they're gonna realize like, oh, like this sweatsuit not coming back. I should have got it when he first dropped, right? And maybe they get that same thought with anything I bring out. So next year when I bring out more sweatsuits, like let me get that now because I'm probably never gonna see the sweatsuit again.
What are some so y'all know my major is marketing management, so I'm over there thinking, what are some ways that you market your product, and what are platforms do you think are easiest to market on?
I'm marketing on pretty much almost every social media platform. So I'm starting to get into TikTok. TikTok is the
hottest thing right now.
Yeah, right
TikTok,
now.
the hottest thing out. You can probably get the most bang for your buck using TikTok because you get like organic views, organic
shares,
engagement, everything. TikTok probably the hottest, but I'm not as involved with TikTok right now. But I am using
I
like.
understand.
Yeah, it's kind of tough.
I've been putting off TikTok. Yeah,
it's kind of tough to get a hang of. I know a lot of people be posting videos and stuff, but how my time is like I don't have time to just
TikTok.
Yeah,
you feel me? Like I don't got the time to figure it out. I be seeing people like pulling shirts off, and there's another shirt. Like they doing a lot of this video editing stuff, and I ain't got the time for it. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to hiring somebody or consulting with somebody that could maybe do that on my behalf, but personally, I couldn't.
Trust me, I understand.
I couldn't do it. But I also use Instagram, Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook.
Google.
Definitely.
Go ahead, Google, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. It's probably, the major ones.
Do you have any, two-part question, do you have anybody that you kind of looked up to in regards to like fashion, or any companies that you, I don't want to say emulated, but that you were like, I kind of want to be like that? Yeah, like I like the way that, I like the look they give. I like the customer service in which they provide, or anything of that nature. Maybe
I like G-Star a lot. You feel me? I like G Star. Like their lineup, I feel like it would appeal to like a similar customer base as my clothing line. You know what I mean? Black Boy, G Star. Honestly, I wholesale now to a couple of stores. So it's a store in Security that carry Black Boys, a store in East Point Mall that carry Black Boys, a store on Eastern Shore that carry Black Boy. And anytime London. Anytime I go into their stores, I notice that where my brand is carried, G Star is also carried. Right, so I always
same demographic type.
Right, I always draw that comparison between Black Boy, G Star. Okay, I'm feeling it.
Anybody that you would want to possibly partner with?
Damn, that'd be hard.
G Star, Supreme.
Black Boy Supreme.
Question: you talked about the going from the kiosk to, because when I saw you were opening a store, I said this is a big move. Can you talk a little bit about that process of the brick and mortar, kind of going to the generic way of opening a legit store as your hub? And I think about Nipsey Hussle. Nobody was wearing Crenshaw 4 or 5 years ago like that, and then you just start seeing it everywhere. Like you said, you're in 40 states now. Started on the block, much like the Crenshaw type of thing. And he now, he had the store, rest in peace, but still has that store, still has that warehouse aspect.
Yeah, they renovating that right now.
Yeah,
it's
so
about to be big.
Yeah, so seeing people like that and seeing that your clothes are really all over the world, not even just in the United States, opening that store. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Tough process. I mean, it took like 8 months for the store to be built. It started off concrete slab. Everything was blank. It was a blank canvas. There was some contractors I was working with that the property owners that they kind of established a relationship between us two. They came in, how do you want the general layout of the store? Like, all right, you can put like a little small office right here. I plan on putting like a dressing room right here. Honestly, the process was only supposed to take 2 months, but it wound up taking 8. I'm assuming it's probably because of the pandemic and everything slowed everything down. But yeah, it was an 8-month process. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do it. Not a lot of people opening businesses in the middle of the pandemic. A lot of people probably...
That's time too at the same time. It's
yeah.
Like 50-50.
Yeah, it's like 50-50. A lot of people probably wouldn't recommend opening the store in the middle of the pandemic because, A, you get like less foot traffic, so you're going to have less engagement, less people seeing your brand. And you still, if that doesn't impact like your lease payments or anything, like if you don't have a flexible property owner and they like, because the pandemic is going on, I'll adjust the rate or I'll allow you X amount of months of, essentially free space, then you run into issues, right? Because what if, the pandemic, you're in the middle of the pandemic, literally everything closed and they still charge you a full lease rate. They say, hey, where's my money? Right. And commercial property is crazy expensive, right? Commercial is a lot different than like residential property, right?
Electric bill higher, all that.
Yeah, everything is higher. My store is probably like 2 or 3 times as expensive as my apartment, right? And I can't sleep there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's tough, and I'd be sick if they was like, man, yeah, you got to close down the store due to the pandemic, and they still expect that payment.
Rent, yeah,
man. Yeah, I don't know. They might not get it. They might define me.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we know you're listening. And you talked about working with people, whether locally or nationally or internationally. Who's somebody that when you saw them in your shirt, you was like, damn, this is really big time.
I feel like I ain't had... No. Let me take that back. Right? When I was first starting to bubble, after I had that initial rush of people wearing it and everything, it didn't hit me until Safari wore it. I had somebody tag me. They like, bro, Safari got your shirt on. I'm like, what trying to talk about? Then people start tagging me. They on his post.
He got a big ass following.
Right.
Call him what you want. He got a big ass following.
Yeah. I mean, I know some people that's probably not the biggest fans of him. I like him personally. You feel me? Because I feel like
any man that got Nicki Minaj, you good with me.
Had Nicki Minaj.
Hey, had all them years, brother.
Hey man, he wrote a lot of bars for us. So.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to him.
Yeah, I feel like he looked out. It's not too many celebrities out here that's like willing to. Right. I done met a handful of celebrities just off having the business. I've been able to interface with a lot of celebrities, but not all of them as supportive. And just straight out the rip, like there was no questions asked. I just sent it, to a designer, his stylist. Next thing I know, I'm getting tagged in, all these different pictures, and he's sending stuff, and I'm like, yeah, like that's it. You look at this follower, I'm like, I ain't got a couple million followers.
He can't rap, but he does have a lot of followers. That's fun.
Them Nicki bars was hard, though. Still
Bars,
honest, bro.
bars.
Look at Quentin Miller.
Oh no, he can't rap for himself. No,
Quentin Miller can't rap for
But
himself. But look at Drake.
Yeah, ghostwriter though.
Just
Yeah, nice
saying.
ghostwriter.
For her only though. It only works for her.
Yeah,
I mean,
But we're not hitting shades for her. We're not talking about Safari. That wasn't the point.
thank
shout out to you, bro. He shot that club up.
Nah, that's
I
my
ain't mad at
man.
him.
That's my man.
You bought some stuff with you, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Some more goodie bags. Feel me?
Yeah, we
Show
just
the
gonna
people
use
what
this one, bro. You ain't got
yeah,
to
yeah.
Let the people see what you working on. Your coat, you got the whole. You iced out with the whole.
Oh
brand.
yeah. Got the Block Boy jacket. I call it the Block Boy Malore jacket. It was a fall/winter release. It'll probably be done after the spring. But yeah, I bought a couple little goodie bags for my guys. Some hats, some masks. We still in the middle of the pandemic. But yeah.
We will have his Instagram underneath, just so that y'all know, so y'all can see. Anybody else got any questions? I got one, but I forgot, so give me a second. That's what
That
I'm
should take page when I get home.
No, I don't have no more questions. But I guess overall, I would just like to say anybody that's out here trying to chase something or to do something, there's a clear blueprint that you can follow. I don't know how open you are to like helping people out, but I'm guessing since people didn't help you, you probably are more willing to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Reach out to other people.
People come by
That was
all
my
the time.
What advice would you give people that are trying to develop their own clothing lines or just be
Do it.
in the shoes that you're in?
Do it. You feel me? 'Cause I wake up every day. Like anytime you talk about business, even outside of a clothing line, there's doubts, right? You don't know whether or not, there's no guarantees your business won't be successful. And there's no guarantee that your business won't be successful. Like you don't know until you do
Try
it.
it, yeah.
Right. You literally don't know until you do it.
Forward, man.
Right. You gotta put your best foot forward. Things could work out, things could not
It will
work out.
but you would never know unless you try. Like,
You just gotta be willing though. You gotta be willing to
and yeah, I'm
take that
tired
step.
of the excuse. Everybody sell clothes. Yeah, that's cool, but be different. It's like 5 different types of bread at Walmart.
Right.
Everybody buying all of them. It's money out there for everybody.
Potato bread kind of got myself.
Wheat.
That's my secondary choice. I just got into the honey wheat too.
Yeah, no, they be hitting them.
But I mean, I look at it like this.
Oh, man.
You look at it, we 5 black dudes from Baltimore right here, and we probably all got on different just brands. There's no reason why you don't think that you could be one of the brands that were up here. Nike wasn't Nike before Nike. Honestly, Nike probably wasn't Nike before Michael Jordan, but that's a totally different conversation
fact.
for a totally different day. If you look at it, Converse and all of those were really big back in the day.
And why? Black people.
Well, black people make trends no matter
No,
what.
Yeah,
the
we
Converse
definitely
is-
set the trends.
Yeah, facts.
Right, so that's a big.
We
that
spend
sh-
billions.
That should be
in
one of
fashion.
your biggest target audiences is
Facts.
African Americans. And I'm not trying to be racist, but a lot of other cultures do like to mimic us, our style, our habits, our just what we are. Like you said, we set trends.
Trendsetters.
The biggest thing you can look at is Japanese culture. Like they are starting to emulate us. A huge thing is Hennessy. Y'all know I drink Hennessy. A couple years ago, Hennessy started having a shortage because they were buying Hennessy out like crazy. So Hennessy used to get distilled 4 times. Now they've started to lose so much of it that it only gets distilled like 3, sometimes 2 times before it's released. That's why some people tell you Hennessy tasted different back in the day than it does now. I know you know because you're an alcoholic, but that's a story for another day.
Allegedly.
I never knew that though. I never knew that.
Allegedly.
I never knew that.
Well, he's not an alcoholic in February, ladies and gentlemen.
Not alcoholic, period. Let's just start there.
So let me clear my name.
He's just
Right.
he's a conservative drinker.
I just happen to be able to handle alcohol better than most.
Yeah, this man is rarely ever drunk in America, so don't believe that.
I may or may not have been drinking today.
Do you see expansion in your future, real quick?
Oh yeah, for sure. I already started wholesaling to a couple of other retail stores. I want wholesale all over the country. Feel me? If I can't,
That's the best. That's
I mean, yeah, you can't beat it. I mean, wholesaling is one of those. It's just one of those things that you do where you get a lump sum of money at once, right? And it's very little work on your behalf,
Absolutely.
right? So a retail store comes to you, say, hey, I want X amount of this product, say 200 sweatsuits or whatever. I pick up the phone, call my manufacturer. What they tell me the size and breakdown, the color breakdown. Let me get 200 of this. Give them the specifications. They start making the stuff. The retail store send me the money. I send whatever portion it costs to be manufactured. And and then I keep all of my profits and just send it to this address, right? And we good to go.
My last question is, what do you feel like you want to get to a place where you are only responsible for part of the business? Guys, know now you're probably still into the design and you're still into the manufacturing.
Doing everything.
Still into, So do you feel like you see a path for yourself where as though you can take on less while still maximizing your profit?
Move more into leadership.
Yeah,
versus
I mean,
everything else.
I got a small team, and again, like I said, when I was at Mondom, I had some employees, but they didn't really have a hand in like the manufacturing process or the design process. But I usually keep that between like my circle, friends. I go to friends sometimes, like design something or what you like, you know what I mean, or if I got short sets coming up, like, hey, design a short set, or what's the name, or how does a short set look that you would wear? A lot of people say, oh, I want the Balenciaga this, or the Alexander McQueen, that kind of thing. And I'm like, maybe I can use that as like a reference. I can make some adjustments here. I can change this. I like that, own. But I like this about it, but I would change X, Y, and Z if I was designing it, right? And because I am in the fashion industry, I can say, let me take something similar to what you're doing, and I'm gonna change X, Y, and Z to make it fit what I want.
So my last question: do you look at like upcoming sneakers or fashion week designs or like things of the past? Like, where do you get your creativity from?
Bro, everything come in waves. Not a lot of people realize that. Like, stuff that used to be corny get hot. Stuff that used to be hot turn corny.
One of the biggest things to me is Champion. I remember Champion.
Yeah,
was
everybody's a
not hot
clown you
back
for
in the
wearing
day.
Champion.
Right.
And then Champion
That's
just
a fact.
blew
That's
up.
true.
You remember
Champion
that?
went from being like $10 to $80.
Now that you gotta pay bread for Champion,
And
since
Supreme
when?
and Champion.
They
did
was
collab.
selling at Walmart. When,
Yeah,
you feel
Champion
me?
used to be real small, and then Champion just blew up. Under Armour was pretty cheap when it first started for the most part.
That's
too.
because it started here.
Yeah,
so we got a
that's true
different
too.
look
Yeah.
at that.
But no, a lot of brands, even these luxury designer brands that we look at, they don't strategically they increase their prices as they get more and more attention, more and more
That's true.
sales.
Yeah.
Right. So if you look back at some of the more popular brands right now, a lot of people wearing like Palm Angels or Balenciaga and Alexander
I hate all of
McQueen.
them shoes.
It's super hot right now, right? But if you look
all
back,
of them.
let's say you look
Designer
back
shoes,
10,
Yeah, yo.
15
clothes
years,
fire though, but shoes.
the stuff was priced a lot more reasonably, right? But as it started to pick up traction, you'll notice
Like,
the same
oh,
thing. It's the
let's
same
get some
thing that
money.
was just like these shoes were just $300.
Like
Even
even
Athletics
like
was
600.
Yeah.
They re-released J's at 20%
Not even
more
that.
than what they
You
cost when
wanna
they
know
originally
that-
dropped.
But
Like,
I also think it's like oversaturated, and I say that because if you look at the take the Nike dad shoe, the Monarchs.
Okay.
Look at the price right now, bro.
I'm not paying
You
for
feel,
no Monarch.
feel me? Like, yo, they like 80. They used to be like $30 at
They
JCPenney
need
or
to
something.
be. They need to be. They trash.
But because everybody, the celebrities wearing the big dad shoes and they
No.
raise the price. Monarchs,
I need
bro?
y'all to stop
I
this
ain't
video
never heard
and
of
Google
this.
Air Monarchs and then
Please.
come back so you can know what we talking about.
Ain't nobody ever said, yo, mom, can I please go get them Air Monarchs? Ain't nobody ever said that, yo.
He said, take the Nike, take the dopes back and go get the.
Come on up.
Those is actually another one.
He said, I don't want the Air Max. Take the Air Max back and just get me the
Those
Monarch.
definitely
They
grew
were
a fan.
expensive when they came out in the 90s originally.
Yeah,
but
they were. But that's why they got the nickname that they got, because only dope dealers could afford them.
Yeah.
Right. And then they they blew up.
That's
real
phone
heavy.
posits for all you guys not from
Yeah,
Baltimore.
true. Yeah. So Dopes is another one because Dopes wasn't really that big. I like the pros, like, so y'all know I like shoes for real. So like I've always been in shoes. Like we said, Jordans is another one.
But yeah, the market is just oversaturated. That's why can't nobody get no new releases no more.
Well, it's a little bit of that, and it's also scarcity. Like, we also live in a generation where people take things and resell them. So with bots and all of these other
Hypebeast,
things
bro.
like that, it allows people to be able to monetize somebody else selling something.
A lot of companies though, they do it on purpose. That's strategic. Them releasing stuff in small quantities. They know. They
Drives
know.
up demand.
Right.
So I mean,
It's all a game.
in
Yeah.
It's all a game. It's all strategic. Like, don't ever think that
So-
they can't make more Jordans.
That's
or
what
they
you
can't.
said.
First off,
When
Jordan
I
is
started
making
doing
a
when I started
boatload
doing this
percentage of
marketing,
increase.
I started looking at stuff from a whole different standpoint, bro. Everything is marketing, even stocks, but that's a different story. Whatever they say on the news, they could say, "Oh, Apple did this bad. Watch Apple go down." It's all marketing, bro. Everything.
How can they follow you, keep up with you, and your store?
Oh yeah, you got I don't know if y'all can see the bag, but
We're going to put it on the screen. Don't worry
Yeah,
about
Yeah,
it.
it's gonna be right underneath
Yeah.
your name, bro.
Instagram, Block Boy, Facebook, Block Boy Apparel, Twitter, Block Boy Apparel, and the store 1 West Pennsylvania Avenue. That's in Towson, Maryland, 21204.
Blockboy Pearl.
Hey, and
final
one of
thoughts?
the best malls in the city, man. Shout out to you, brother. I'm happy for your success, man. Good to see you. Hey, this is what we do here. Entrepreneur segment. It's qualified opinions. Brandon, we're going to have to bring you back, man.
Yes, sir.
Continue
Yes,
the
sir.
success, and till next time, we gone.